Hi everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and today I want to show you something very special, especially if you are a coffee lover. This is called Crochet Cappuccino, which starts out with a giant cup and beautiful steam rising. And I'll have some pictures I'll put in this section here so that you can see. It's also trimmed with a beautiful border of hearts. And this particular project is going to be filmed in 2 videos. So this is video 1 of 2. It is clearly, you can tell with the color changes and the complicated cables, which aren't as complicated as you might seem, as you might believe, but this is not for beginners. If you're an absolute beginner, I would highly recommend that you check out some of my other videos, learn how to make cables, and then come back to this project. Okay, I don't want you to just be frustrated with something that's just too difficult. However, that said, if you are an intermediate crocheter to advanced, feel free to jump in with both feet on this one. And even if you feel like you're not quite intermediate, take a look at the video, take a look at the stitching. I do go step by step. And that's one thing I wanted to also mention. I do show color changes, how to change the color of the yarn. Now in video number 1, which is the one that you're watching right now, we're only going to be covering the cup. We start at the very bottom and then we complete the cup using a special chart that is available as part of the written pattern for this particular project. Video number 2 will cover the cabling and the perimeter round as well. Okay, now in addition to the instruction that is in both of these videos, I also have additional video helps if you want to look in the video description. I have a separate video that gives a little more detail on how to hide the yarn behind post stitches, and especially when crossing the cables, and hiding a contrasting color behind you, because as you crochet these cables, you're going to be changing yarn colors with the background color. It's not as complicated as you might think. I do not use the method using bobbins, which you'd have a whole bunch of different types, bunch of yarns woven individually. No, I am having you carry, just using 2 colors, carry the yarn back and forth as you go on this particular project. Okay, all the information that you're going to need, again, is in the video description below. And should you ever have any questions or comments, I just encourage you to reach me through by commenting in the comment section below. You can also reach me at my email, and that's also in the video description. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using these beautiful hues for the throw. And if you need to know how many I needed of each, just look in the video description and I will have that information for you there. Let's go ahead and look at the details of the yarn that I'm going to be using. This is available from lovecrafts.com, and I will have a link in the video description for you. This is a number 4 weight yarn, or a worsted, or commonly called an Aran weight yarn. Each of these balls of yarn has 3.5 ounces, or 100 grams, 201 yards, or 184 meters, and is 100% acrylic. Of course, you are free to use whatever yarn you have available to you locally, and I also encourage people to check out their yarn stash and just go shopping at home. I will be using a size I, or 9, or 5.50 millimeter crochet hook. However, feel free to size your hook to whichever yarn that you choose to use. I'm also recommending that you have a pair of sharp scissors and a yarn needle handy, as well as some various stitch markers so that you can use these to mark the cables once we get to that part in the throw. This is just an option just to help you in understanding and identifying what we're working on. To begin, we're going to use the dark brown. Let me go ahead and give you the number on that. This is color number 210. I know it's going to be a little difficult to see, but what we're going to do to begin is going to be quite simple. And I should state from the get-go that this is an intermediate project. This is not a beginner friendly because it does assume a lot of knowledge and some experience on crochet cables. Now that said, if you are a confident beginner and you have tried some of the beginning style cabling and you're comfortable with that, by all means jump in, as long as you're not afraid of making mistakes here and there and doing some ripping out, which we all do at some point in the learning process. Okay. To begin, we're going to work a slip knot and a starting chain of 152 chains. Make sure you don't crochet these too tightly so that you are able to work in them, and also so that the chain is not too tight at the bottom. Don't worry about doing a different form of starting chain because we are actually going to be covering up the entire chain once we work the perimeter rounds at the end of this project. So go ahead and work your 152 chains. For row number 1, we're going to skip the first 2 chains, and in the third chain from the hook, we're going to work a half double crochet in that stitch and in each of the chains all the way across the row. At the end of this row, you should have 150 stitches. It's very important, since we're using a chart for this design, which is available as part of the crochet pattern. It's very important that we maintain constant stitch count. Now for the next 4 rows, this is for rows 2 through 5, they're going to be worked the same way. We're going to chain 2, and starting in that first stitch, we're going to work half double crochets in each stitch across. And for the record, we're just working under the top 2 loops like you normally would in crochet projects. So go ahead and work rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the same manner. Okay, now that we've finished the first 5 rows, it's time for us to get our chart out. And let me show you. I have taped 2 normal 8.5 by 11 sheets together. This is part of the written pattern. So if you don't have the written pattern, I really highly recommend that you invest a little bit in this. Not just to get your money, I promise. I am putting many, many hours into this project, and I think it's going to be a value, and I think this is going to save a lot of time and frustration. Okay, so we're going to learn how to read the chart, and I'm going to show this to you. These are boxed off in increments of 10, so 10 by 10 boxes, each of these representing a stitch. The first 5 rows we've already done, which are the half double crochet. So whenever you see the brown box, that's going to represent a half double crochet. The lines are not stitches, that's just to help you in the stitch count. Okay, and the white section is going to be where we switch to our champagne white yarn, and we're going to work front post double crochets or back post double crochets depending on where we are in the design. Okay, let me mention something about numbers. Okay, we're going to start reading the chart at row number 6, and if you have a ruler or a piece of paper so that you can kind of get that one row off to itself so that you can accurately count the number of squares. I think you're going to find it's easy because you just count by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So for the first row, we're going to work 70 half double crochets using the brown color. Then we're going to switch to the white, and I'll show you how to switch back and forth for a couple of times. So we're going to switch to the white by drawing in the loop at the end of that last stitch here, and then we're going to work 10, 20 front post double crochets, and then at the end of that last stitch we're going to switch back to the brown just by drawing in a different loop, and then we're going to work the the brown for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 60 stitches, and that would complete row number 6. Okay, so let me go ahead and read those numbers to you again. For row 6, we're going to work 70 half double crochets. Then we're going to work 20 front post double crochets using the white, switch back to the brown, and then we're going to work 60 half double crochets. We're not skipping any stitches, and you want to be very careful once we start working the post stitches. It's easy to skip a stitch around the place where you join. You want to make sure we don't do that. Okay, so, and let me show you this page here. I did trim a little bit so that this will be flush together. And I just taped it. So, and it's going to be very easy. I can just use a pencil and just check off the numbers so that I know where I am as I go. And yes, the numbers are on the side. Let me say something about that. The even numbers are going to be read from right to left. This is for a right-hander. Now, that's going to be the opposite if you're a left-hander. Okay, but you can still use this chart for a left-hander. It's just going to be different. You're going to be coming the opposite direction. So for right-handers, the even numbered rows are all going to start on the right side and go across. The odd number rows are going to start on the left side, because you're going to have the back side facing when you read the odd numbers, and you're going to go from left to right, and you're going to read the numbers or the spaces as to which are the brown stitches and which are the white stitches. You're going to read those from left to right on the odd number rows. So now that I've said that, just keep that in mind as you check the boxes off. Some of you may choose to just go on and just complete this portion without hearing me drone on and on with each particular row. But for those of you who need the extra help, I don't mind doing that at all. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be stopping and I will show you my progress. I will show you in detail for the first row. And then after that, I'm going to give numbers and instructions showing you how to read the chart and basically sending you on your way to do this on a row by row basis. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Also, just to let you know, the written pattern does have the numbers written out per row. So in case you want to read the numbers instead of looking at a chart, you can also do that. Or get this, you can do them simultaneously and use the math to make sure that you are doing it correctly. Each row is going to have 150 stitches total. All right, so let's go ahead for row 6 and chain 2. And we're going to half double crochet starting in that first stitch. In the first stitch, we're going to work a total of 70 half double crochets. So go ahead and work 70. Okay, I've completed 70 stitches. I'm going to back one of these stitches out and do it again to show you how to change the color. So this is the stitch number 70, and instead of finishing off that stitch, I'm going to bring in the new color and just bring it like this. Go ahead and leave the brown yarn right here. Leave it on the back side. So what I'm going to have you do is when we make the color change again, we're going to bring in an entirely new ball of yarn because we're going to be able to switch the colors back and forth without having to tie them off at the end of every row. And I'll show you how to do that. So now, looking at the pattern again, we are going to work 20 front post double crochets, and we're going to work them starting in the next stitch. So 20 front post double crochets. If you've never worked a front post double crochet, they're not too difficult, although the cables we're going to do might be more of a challenge if you've never worked these. But we wrap the hook, insert, the hook goes around the body of the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and we complete that double crochet. So go ahead and work 20 of these. So this is the 20th stitch. I'm going to bring in a brand new ball of the brown, same color. I'm going to go ahead and start. So I'm going to be working with 3 balls of yarn per row. Okay, so go ahead and put that white towards the back And we're going to return to our half double crochets. The next stitch is going to be worked, see right here. So now let's go ahead and put it as a half double crochet. We are going to work a total of 60. So you should have 60 stitches left. So go ahead and work half double crochets in the remaining 60 stitches. Let's go ahead and take a look at row 6, and that should be those 20 stitches, which is the very beginning of the cup. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Now for row number 7, we're going to be reading it from left to right. For the half doubles, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 54 half double crochets. Then we're going to have 32 back post double crochets. And for the remainder, we're going to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 64 half double crochets. So again, we're going to have 54 half double crochets in the brown. Switch to the white. We're going to have 30 back post double crochets, and then switch back to the brown, and we're going to have 64 half double crochets. So let's go ahead and work that row. So all the rows begin with a chain 2, and then we're going to work half double crochets into those first number of stitches. So on that 54th stitch, since we have the back side facing us, I'm going to bring the yarn towards me. I'm going to pick up the white yarn, and I'm going to complete the stitch. Now let me show you what I do here. This is what we call a float, and it's going to be on the back side of your throw. So what we're going to do, we can make sure that this is not super tight. Okay, that's why I'm pulling some yarn so that it's nice and loose. We can try to work around this as we work the stitches, or you can just leave it kind of a loose float. Let me show you how you can try to work this in. So now as we get to work this in, make sure this is just a little bit loose here, because we are going to work around it. All right, so we're going to work back post by coming in the back. Notice I'm going to put the yarn in front of the stitch like this, and then I bring the yarn through so it's intertwined. Let's do the next one in the same way. There's 2. And for the third, again, we're just going around a stitch, but we're also putting our hook over that float on the back side. It's just a really nice way to secure this. So we've done 3, and then the 4th is way over here, and 5. Again, putting that stitch or that thread in front of the hook. Oh, it got away from me. Let's do that again. Make sure the yarn is in front. That's 5, and we have 1 more. So just continue working those back post double crochets until you have a total of 32 in the white yarn. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you the next color change. We now have 6 stitches to do, and then after those we're going to engage the brown yarn on this side again. So what I'm going to have you do is, let's go ahead and hide this thread under the next 6 stitches, just the way we did the white. So this is how we're going to do that. So make sure that that strand is in front of these stitches. Again, it's not going to be seen from the front side. So that's 1, 2. I know this is a little bit awkward, but it's going to help a lot in the long run. So that's 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the next stitch. Make sure again that this is in front of the hook. 4. And again, I'm taking a lot of time to demonstrate this. I'm not going to do all of this for every single row, just in case you're worried about that. I'm going to just show as much detail as I can for these first 2-3 rows, and then I'm going to fly on the instructions so that you don't have to be tethered to a computer or your cell phone or what have you. So let's double check. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the last stitch. So before we do that, put the yarn down, and now we're going to engage the dark chocolate yarn again, and see how lovely that is. So that float is just very carefully worked in, and you do not see it from the front. So I just want you to be assured of that. And this is going to just help the longevity of the blanket as well, because those floats can sometimes, you know, catch on clothing and whatnot, and that won't be happening. So now we're just going to work half double crochets in the remaining stitches, and let me give you the stitch count on that one more time. This is the last 64 stitches. So go ahead and finish up row 7, and then I'll give some directions for row number 8. So after 7 rows, this is what the bottom of the cup should look like. This is what the front side facing I've already turned to start row number 8. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. Row number 8 is way down here, and let's go ahead and put this in front. So for row 8, we are working from right to left. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 half double crochets with the brown before we switch out. And then after that, we're going to have 40 front post double crochets. And then after that, we're going to have 50 on the other side, 50 half double crochets. So I'm going to go ahead and work the first 60 half double crochets in the brown, and then I'm going to show you how to switch the white yarn, and I'm going to show you how to work over the float. So to show you again, this is number 60 on the stitch count for row 8. It's time for me to add in the light colored yarn. Now I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit loose on the back side for that float, because we are going to work around this stitch for the next several front posts. So let's go ahead and do front post. Make sure this thread goes in front of the stitch like this. So that's 1. Make sure the thread again goes in front of the stitch. That's 2. This could be a little bit tricky. Let me just try that again. I'm glad that happened, so that you know that this is not the easiest thing, but just make sure that that strand goes in front. Okay, there we go. Got a clean pull through there. And 2 more like this. Again, this yarn goes in front as we work around that stitch. That's 3, and then 1 more like this. Okay, again, you're not going to see that from the front, and now that float is well hidden into our work along the back side, and we're going to do this at the end of the white section as well. So now we just work over some more of these. So we're going to do a total of 40 in this section, so that's 4, 5 on until you hit 40, and I'll show you how to switch back to the brown and working with that float on the back side and how to cover that up. I just want to make sure you know how to do that, because we're going to be doing that a lot as we make this giant coffee cup. Now, after finishing 36 stitches, we're going to have this strand to cover up until we switch to that. So I'm going to go ahead and work this next stitch, and on this next stitch I'm going to work with the brown in front of that. Let me go ahead and do that again. This brown string or yarn that we're going to be switching to in just a bit, I want to make sure that that goes in front of the hook as I work this post stitch. And then the next one. This is actually stitch number 40, and this is going in front. And now we're going to drop the white back behind, and we're going to pick up that same stitch to complete the stitch. And you can see behind here how that float is worked in to the stitching. Now we just work 50 remaining half double crochets. So go ahead and finish out row number 8. Now for row number 9, I'm trying to hold the sheet of paper here. You can use a ruler to see this as well. So we are going to work 47 stitches with the half double crochets, and then again change colors. And I'm not going to mention this every single row, but you're going to be working over the floats on both sides of this. Okay, when you get to the white, we're going to work 46 back post double crochets, and then after that we're going to work 57 of the brown. And you can go ahead and use your ruler sheet of paper to mark that off. So go ahead and work row number 9. Or let's take a look at how the bottom of the cup is coming after 9 rows. So this is what you should have on each side. And don't worry about this curling over. This will all work itself out as we work through the project. Certainly once we get to the cabling, it's not going to be an issue at all. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at row 10. Row 10, we're going to half double crochet in those 55 stitches, change to white, and again make sure that you're working over the floats on the back as you add these stitches, hiding this behind it. Okay, for the white stitches with the front post double crochets, we're going to work 51 stitches, and then we're going to change back to the brown and we're going to work 44 stitches. And again, take a look at that diagram so that you can see how the cup is expanding on both sides. So go ahead and finish row number 10. Let's take a look at this cup after 10 rows. Now for row 11, let's go ahead and look at it here. You can work half double crochets in those first 42 stitches, and then we're going to work our way across, and then we're going to work 56 with the back post double crochets. And again, be careful to work over the loose floats so that those are covered up and intertwined into the work. And then we're going to work 52 half double crochets at the end of the row. So again, go ahead and refer to this often. This is going to serve you well. So go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how to work the next row. This is what you should have after completing 11 rows. I'll just show you the cup bottom here. Now for row number 12, and again, check your chart here just to verify. But for row number 12, we're going to half double crochet with the brown in the first 50 stitches. Then we're going to work 60 front post double crochets, and then 40 half double crochets. So those are the numbers you're going to need for this row: 50, then 60, and then 40. And again, making sure that you're working over the floats behind. All right, so go ahead and finish row number 12. This is what you should have after completing 12 rows. I hope you're enjoying the way this is developing as much as I am. Now we're going to take a look at row number 13. And again, be sure to look at the chart for row 13. We're going to work 38 half double crochets in the brown, and then we're going to work 64 back post double crochets. This will be worked with the back side facing, and then we're going to work 48 stitches in the dark brown. And again, we're working from left to right on our charts, and again with the back row or the back side facing. And remember, as you approach the last stitches here, or actually before you when you get to the right stitches, make sure that you are working this in so that the floats are not exposed. All right, and make sure you did it on both sides. So go ahead and work row number 13. This is what we have after 13 completed rows. So I'll let you look at both sides of this. Now for row 14, go ahead and check your chart there. We're going to work half double crochets in the first 47 stitches. Again, we're going to read the chart from right to left because we have the front side facing and it's an even numbered row. And then we're going to work 67 front post double crochets with the white, and then change back to brown, and we're going to work 36 stitches in the brown. So go ahead and finish row 14. All right, here is the bottom of the cup after completing 14 rows. Okay, now for row 15, we're going to turn with the back side facing, and let me go ahead and read the numbers. And remember, read the chart from left to right for this one. We're going to chain 2, half double crochet in 35 stitches, and then we're going to change to the white, and we're going to work 82 back post double crochets. After that, change back to the brown, and we're going to work a total of 33 half double crochet. So go ahead and complete row 15. In case you're concerned about the number of white stitches going from left to right in row 15, just take note that we are starting to work on the coffee cup handle in this row. So if those numbers look a little bit off, that's why. All right, so go ahead and finish row 15. Now for row number 16, we're going to work this from right to left, and we are going to continue to expand that cup handle. So let me go ahead and give you the numbers on that. So for row 16, we're going to work half double crochets in those first 29 stitches, and then we're going to change to the white, and we're going to work front post double crochets in 88 stitches, again further expanding the handle to the cup. And then after we do that, we're going to change back to brown and work 33 stitches. So go ahead and work row 16. Let's go ahead and take a look after 16 rows, and you can see here how the handle, or the bottom of the handle of the cup, is forming, and the cup continues to grow. Now let me go ahead and give you the numbers for row 17, which again will be with the back side facing. And just to reiterate, you're going to continue to work in any additional stitches here. Make sure that you work over the yarns here to make sure that the floats are hidden into these stitches. So now we're going to chain 2, half double crochet with the brown for 32 stitches, change to the white, and then we're going to work 92 back post double crochets, and then after that it's back to the brown, and we're going to work 26 half double crochets. So go ahead and complete row 17. All right, this is the cup handle after 17 rows. Let's just take a look at how this cup is growing. We've still got a long way to go, but I hope you're enjoying seeing this work its way out. Now for row 18, we are going to work 23 half double crochets. And now we're going to do something a little different in here. We're going to be changing a little more frequently as we start to form the opening. As the handle reaches around, we're going to have some brown in here. So after these initial 23 stitches with the brown, we're going to front post double crochet for 13 stitches, then change back to the brown, half double crochet for 5 stitches, and then back to the white again, and then front post double crochet for 79 stitches all the way, and then at the end we're going to half double crochet for the last 30 stitches. So again, let me give you those numbers. It's going to be the brown, half double crochet for 23, change to the white for 13, change to the brown for 5, change back to the white for, again, those front post double crochets, 79 of those, change to the brown, half double crochet in the last 30 stitches. So go ahead and work row 18. So let's go ahead and take another look at this chart a little bit closer. So for row 18 that we just finished here, you can see that we've had the section of the white, and then we have those 5 half double crochets with the brown as we go across on the cup. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. I just wanted to show this to you again so that you wonder what in the world's going on now that this is kind of broken up in here. This is what we're doing, and we're going to end up making this beautiful handle before we're done. So let's go ahead and take a look at the yarn. So this is how that handle is starting to play out after 18 rows. Now for row 19, again, we're going to have the back side facing us, and again, just be mindful of those floats behind your work. Make sure that you're working over them as this expands. But we're also going to be reading from left to right on that graph for the next row. Okay, and for this row, we're going to half double crochet into 29 stitches with the brown, and then we're going to work 81 stitches, which are going to be back post double crochets with the white. After that, we're going to return to half double crochets, and we're going to work 9 half double crochets in the brown, and then we're going to follow that with 10 back post double crochets, and then 21 half double crochets with the brown after that. So go ahead and work row 19. This is what we have after finishing 19 rows. Also, let me just mention that I am carrying the white yarn behind those half double crochets. Okay, and this is, go ahead and go back here. You can see the handle looks better from this direction, and the cup is getting larger. All right, so now for row 20, which is red from right to left with the even numbered rows in the front side facing, we are going to work 19 half double crochets in the brown, and then we're going to front post double crochet 9 stitches, change to the brown, half double crochet in 11 stitches, change back to the white, and then we're going to work front post double crochets in 83 stitches, and then change back to the brown and work 28 stitches in those half double crochets. So again, making sure that you are working over these floats. Make sure you're working them into the stitches as you go. So go ahead and finish row 20. All right, let's take a look at our cup and our cup handle after completing 20 rows. You can see how the handle is growing and more on the cup. It's getting deeper. Okay, so now for row 21, we're going to turn. We're going to have the back side facing us, which means we're going to read the graph from left to right. And for this row, we're going to chain 2, half double crochet in the first 27 rows, change to white, back post double crochet in the next 85 stitches. After that, we're going to change to the brown, and we're going to work 13 half double crochets, change to the white, work 7 back post double crochets, and then change color to the brown again and work 18 half double crochets. So, and again, make sure you are working the yarn changing colors in as you go. All right, so go ahead and work row 21. Now let's take a look at our cup after completing 21 rows. We have the handle continuing to grow, and you see the bottom of the cup also continues. Okay, so let me go ahead and give you some counts, and let's just go ahead and take a look once again at our diagram. So we are at row 22, which is right over here, and you can read that straight across, and you can do the counts, etc., or I'll just give them to you right here. We're going to chain 2 half double crochet in the first 16 stitches. That would be with the dark brown. Then we're going to change to white. We're going to front post double crochet in 7 stitches here, change back to brown, half double crochet in the next 14 stitches, change to white, front post double crochet in 87 stitches, and then at the very end change back to brown and half double crochet in 26 stitches. So go ahead and work row 22. Okay, so now I have this cup folded in half here, and I'm going to explain row 23, which again we're going to be reading from left to right, and this is going to have the back side facing if you're using the right-handed version. Okay, and so now we're going to chain 2 half double crochet in the next 25 stitches, change to white, back post double crochet in the next 90 stitches, which also goes on to this side right here. Let me just hold that up there. After those 90 back post double crochets, we change to brown, half double crochet in the next 14 stitches. Then we change to white, and we're going to back post double crochet in the next 6 stitches, change back to brown, and we're going to half double crochet in the last 15 stitches. So go ahead and complete row 23, and let me go ahead and give you the numbers for row 24. Once you turn and work forward, we're going to, again, working from right to left as we read this chart, chain 2 half double crochet in the next 14 stitches, change to white. When you get to that cup handle, we're going to front post double crochet in the next 5 stitches, change back to brown, half double crochet in 16 stitches, change back to white, front post double crochet in 91 stitches, and change back to brown, half double crochet in 24 stitches. And of course that last section would be right back here. All right, so go ahead and complete rows 23 and 24. All right, after finishing 24 rows, let's take another look at how this handle continues to grow, and the cup as well. It's going to be probably getting too big for my viewfinder in just a bit. I just wanted to give you a glimpse. Now I'd like to read some numbers for you. So now for row 25, we're going to have the back side facing, and we're going to chain 2 half double crochet with the brown in 23 stitches, change to white, and the cup portion we're going to work back post double crochets in 93 stitches, change to brown, half double crochet in the next 16 stitches, change to white, back post double crochet in the next 6 stitches, change to brown, half double crochet in the last 12 stitches. Now for row 26, again we're going from right to left, and we're going to be reading the chart from right to left as well, with the front side facing. Chain 2 half double crochet in 11 stitches, change to white, front post double crochet in 6 stitches, back to brown, half double crochet 16 stitches, front post double crochet with the white in the next 95 stitches, and then change to brown at the very end and half double crochet into the last 22 stitches. So go ahead and complete rows 25 and 26. Now for row 27. This again was with the back side facing and reading from left to right. We're going to chain 2, half double crochet in 22 stitches with the brown, and then change to the white, and we're going to back post double crochet in the next 96 stitches, which is all the way across to the other side here. After that, we're going to half double crochet in the next 17 stitches using the brown as we work around this handle, followed by back post double crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then we finish out with 11 half double crochets. Going on to row 28 as we read from right to left. Okay, so for row 28 we're going to half double crochet in 10 stitches and front post double crochet in the next 4. Change to brown, half double crochet in 17 stitches, and then we get to the white and we are going to work 98 stitches on that white portion. Okay, then we get to the end and you can see we work 20 half double crochets with the brown. So go ahead and work rows 27 and 28, and we are getting close to the halfway point on the cup, but I'm hoping you're enjoying the way this is coming out. So this is what we have after completing 28 rows. The cup continues to grow. Okay, so now for row 29, we're going to chain 2. We're going to work 20 half double crochets. Again, we're going to have the back side facing. And after that, we're going to work 100 back post double crochets across the cup portion. And even though I'm showing the front side, you'll have the back side facing. We're going to work 17 half double crochets going the other direction. And then we'll have 4 more in the white with back post double crochets. And then with the brown, we'll have 9 stitches at the end. For row number 30, we're going to have going this direction now and also reading from right to left on the chart. We're going to have 8 half double crochets, 4 front post double crochets, followed by 18 half double crochets. Again, follow the chart on this. And then change to white, and we're going to front post double crochet in 100 stitches all the way across. Change back to brown, and we're going to have 20 half double crochets at the end. So go ahead and work rows 29 and 30. This is what you should have after completing 30 rows, and we are comfortably past the halfway point of the cup. So we have about 25 rows more to go. All right, so we're going to turn for row 31. For row 31, we're going to change 2, half double crochet in 19 stitches, change to white, back post double crochet in the next 102 stitches across the cup, change back to brown, half double crochet in the next 17 stitches, change back to the white, and back post double crochet in the next 4 stitches, changing back to brown, half double crochet in the last 8 stitches. Okay, for row 32, again going the opposite direction with the front side facing, we're going to work 7 half double crochets, change to the white, work 4, change back to the brown, and work 17. When we get to the cup, we're going to work 104 front post double crochets all the way across the cup. And when you get to the end, we're going to work 18 stitches at the end with the brown. So go ahead and work rows 31 and 32. And again, I want to apologize for my voice. I am getting over something right now. I don't usually sound this bad, but I'm just enjoying this so much. I don't want to stop. So forgive me for indulging that. So go ahead and work rows 31 and 32. So now for row 33, we are going to start with a chain 2, and we're going to work 18 half double crochets with the brown, switch to the white, and we're going to be working 104 4 front post double crochets. And let's get this lined up again. There we go. And then after that, we're going to switch back to the brown, and we're going to work another 18 half double crochets, and then we're going to work 3 back post double crochets, and then the remainder 7 stitches half double crochets. For row number 4, which again, read from right to left if you're working the right-handed design. Let's go ahead and move that up. We're going to work 6 half double crochets, followed by 4 front post double crochets using the white, switching back to brown. We're going to work 17 of those half double crochets. After that, we switch back to white, and let me get that big number. That's going to be 106 stitches. After that, we're going to work 17 stitches with the brown and working half double crochets. So go ahead and complete rows 33 and 34. All right, let's take a look at this after completing 34 rows. Okay, and you can see the cup is getting almost too big to put in a viewfinder. And let's take a look at this part here. Of course, that yarn goes in the back. And you see this cup handle. We're getting near the edge here. All right, so now for row 35, this is going to be worked with the back side facing. We'll go ahead and work 17 half double crochets with the brown, switch to the white, and we will work 107 back post double crochets with the white, followed by 17 stitches worked with the brown, again followed by 3 back post double crochets with the white, and then 6 half double crochets with the brown. After that, we'll turn, have the front side facing us, and we'll be working from right to left, or left to right if you're watching the left-handed version. We're going to have half doubles in 5 stitches, change to white, front post double crochet in the next 4, change back to brown, 17 stitches with the brown, and then we get to the white cup part, and we'll have 108 in the white, and then we change again, and we have 16 half double crochets at the very end. So go ahead and work rows 35 and 36. So for row 37 now, you're going to have the back side facing, and I'm going to read from left to right on the chart. You are going to have 16 half double crochets, change to the white. We're going to work back post double crochets. You should have 109 of those. Afterwards, we're going to switch back and work the brown in the half double crochets, and you'll have 16 of those. Back to the white, 4 back post double crochets, and then finally the last 5 stitches are going to be half doubles with the brown. Now reading for row 38, this is with the front side facing, reading from left to right on the chart. We're going to have 5 half double crochets with the brown, switch to white, we have 3 front post double crochets, and then we switch back to brown, and we have 17 half double crochets, switch back to white. We're going to work those white front post double crochets. Let me give you the count on those. You're going to work 110 of those white front post double crochets. After that, we have 15 half doubles using the brown, and that will end row 38. So go ahead and work rows 37 and 38. All right, this is what we should have after completing 38 rows. Cup is getting ever bigger. All right, so we're getting close here. So now let me go ahead and read you some more numbers. For row 39, we're gonna turn to work with the back side facing, and we're going to read from left to right on our chart, and we're going to work 14 half double crochets with the brown, change to white. We're going to work 112 back post double crochets across the top of the cup. After that, we're going to change to the brown, half double crochet in the next 16 stitches. Then we're going to back post double crochet with the white in 3 stitches, change to brown, and then half double crochet in the last 5 stitches. For row 40, we're going to read from right to left and work with the front side facing. Chain 2, half double crochet in 4 stitches, change to white, front post double crochet in 4 stitches, change back to brown and half double crochet in the next 16 stitches. Back to the white again. We're going to work 112 front post double crochets. That's the same as the last row. Change to brown, and we're going to work 14 half double crochets to finish out the row. So go ahead and work rows 39 and 40. Okay, for row 41, we're going to start with the back side facing, and we're going to work over 13 half double crochets with the brown, change over to the white. Then we're going to work 113 back post double crochets until we get to the brown again. And once we get to the brown, we're going to work a total of 16 half double crochets, change back to the white. We're going to use or work 4 back post double crochets, and then back to the brown where we work 4 half double crochets. Okay, 42, going from right to left, and with the front side facing, we're going to work 4 half double crochets with the brown, 4 front post double crochets with the white. We are going to work 15 half double crochets with the brown, and then we change to the white. We're going to work front post double crochets for 114 stitches. Then we get back to the brown, and we are going to work 13 half double crochets. So go ahead and work rows 41 and 42. Now for row 43, again worked with the back side facing. We're going to work 13 half double crochets using the brown, switch to the white, and then we are going to work 114 white back post double crochets. After that, we're going to work 15 of the half double crochets in brown, followed by 4 back post double crochets in white, and then 4 half double crochets. And as you notice here, we are as close to the edge as this design is going to get, with only 4 stitches away. Okay, so after row 43, we're going to work row 44, 4 brown half double crochets, switch to white. This is with the front side facing, 4 front post double crochets, and then we're going to work 14 brown half double crochets and switch to white. And we're going to go across with 116 of those front post double crochets. Let's go ahead and back down here. And then after that, we are going to work 12. Let's go ahead right back here. 12 half double crochets. So go ahead and work rows 43 and 44. And you can see right here is where we're going to end up. We're very close. We're within 10, 11 rows after this of completing the forming of the cup. And then after that, we will begin working the cables. And that's going to be so much fun. All right, let's take a look at what we have after 44 rows have been completed. And we see this handle just continues to grow and grow and grow. And it's going to be completed very soon, within the next 10-12 rows. And you see our cup, much bigger. And up here, along the side, it's starting to come together. Now, for row 45, again, with the back side facing, since it's an odd numbered row, we're going to work those brown half double crochets for 12 stitches, change to the white, and then work for 116 back post double crochets. After that, change back to brown, half double crochet in 14 stitches, followed by 4 back post double crochets with the white, and ending the row with 4 half double crochets in the brown. So for row 46, 5 half double crochets, and after that we have 3 front post double crochets, change to brown, half double crochet in the next 14 stitches. After that, we're going to work front post double crochet in 116 stitches, and then we change back to brown, and then half double crochet in the last 12 stitches. So go ahead and work rows 45 and 46. All right, this is what you should have after completing 46 rows. And you can see the top of this handle is starting to curve back in, and it will be curved back in and connected by the time we finish through row 55. Okay, so let's take a look at this cup, which is really too large for me to show you in my light box, but just to show you just how nice this is coming together. All right, so let me give you some numbers. Now for row 47, which will be with the back side facing, we are going to work 12 half double crochets with the brown, and then switching back to the white, we're going to work 117 back post double crochets all the way across the cup here. After that, we're going to half double crochet in the next 12 stitches, followed by 4 back post double crochets in the white, and then 5 half double crochets with the brown. So for row 48, which is going to be going the opposite direction, well, we're going to have the front side facing, and we're going to be reading from the opposite direction on our chart from right to left for the right-handers. And row 48, we're going to half double crochet in 6 stitches, change to white, front post double crochet in 4 stitches, back to brown, and we're going to half double crochet in 11 stitches, and front post double crochet with the white in 117 stitches, change back to brown, and half double crochet in the last 12 stitches. So go ahead and work rows 47 and 48. Now for row 49, we're going to work 11 half double crochets, and then we switch to the white, and we're going to work that for 119 stitches all the way across. After those 119 stitches, we are going to work 9 stitches in the brown. Those are half double crochets, and then we have 5 back post double crochets because the back side is facing, 5 back post double crochets in white, and then 6 half double crochets in the brown. Now for row 50, we're going to have 7 half double crochets with the brown, and we're going to follow that with 7 front post double crochets with the white, 3 stitches with the brown, and then we have 3 stitches on the handle. These are front post double crochets, and that's all going to connect up with the actual cup. Let me give you the total on this one. This is going to be 122 stitches all the way across with the white. And after we do that, we are going to have 11 stitches with the brown for those half double crochets. So go ahead and work rows 49 and 50. Okay, only 5 rows to finish this cup. So let's take a look at row 51. We're going to work 11 half double crochets with the brown, switch to the white, and then we are going to work 131 stitches in the white. And the reason there are so many added is we are finally filling in the top of the handle right here. After that, we have 8 brown half double crochets, and that is row 51. For row 52, with the front side facing, we are going to work 10 brown half double crochets, switch to the white. And again, even though it looks like there's a line here, this just to divide, as you know by now, the number of stitches to make it easier to read. So this is going to go straight across for row 52. That would be 129 stitches here. So it's going to be fewer than what was in row 51. So row 52 is 129 stitches. And then we switch back to brown, and then we work 11 more. So go ahead and work rows 51 and rows 52. All right, I'm going to give you 3 rows to finish this out. For row 53, again, this is what the back side facing, and we're reading the chart from left to right. We're going to work 10 half double crochets with the brown, and then we're going to switch to the white and work this all the way across for 120 stitches. Then we're going to work 1 stitch in the brown. One thing I should have mentioned before, but I'll mention it now, is on the previous row, on row 52, when you're working across right up here, go ahead and carry that brown yarn through if you can, just the way we've been carrying the yarn on the back side all throughout. And after that 1 stitch, then we're going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 7 white back post double crochets, and then 12 half doubles. Working with the front side facing, we're going to have 20 stitches in the half double crochet with the brown. And then switching to white, we're going to work front post double crochets, 120 all the way across. And then 10 half double crochets with the brown. And then our final row before we begin changing to the next section, 10, again, it's the same, but the opposite with the back side facing, 10 half double crochets in the brown, switch to white, and then we work all the way across the cup, 120 stitches, and then 20 stitches with the brown, working those half double crochets. All right, so go ahead and finish that, and then we'll be starting the new section, which is going to include preparing for the cables that come out of the cup. Well, I hope you enjoyed making the cup portion of the Crochet Cappuccino throw with me today. If you did, I would love to hear from you. Please comment in the comment section below. Now, if you are watching this video as it is being released, video number 2 will be coming next week. If you're watching this after it's been on my channel for a while, look in the video description and you'll find the link to video number 2. God bless. Bye-bye.